Hello, you beautiful, wonderful, lovely listeners. His name is Aaron, and he will not be passing go, and he will not be collecting $200.
His name's Tommy, and he mistook a bar of Dove soap for a bar of Dove chocolate.
And this is the Super Pod Saga somehow. Thank you, wonderful listeners. It is Aaron. It is Tommy. It is the Super Pod Saga, but we are not alone. We've got a special guest, Tyler, from the Switch It Up podcast. Thank you so much for being here today, Tyler.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to talk about the topic that I will let you all
no spoilers
introduce because it is your show. Yep, I will contain myself. I'm just so excited.
Good. We like that. Why don't you tell the listeners about yourself? What games do you like? And tell us about the Switch It Up podcast, too.
Yeah, so my name is Tyler. I'm an avid gamer, as you could say, particularly partial to Nintendo games. My first console was not a Nintendo console, it was a PS2, but then I got myself a Wii and a DS, and it all sort of just picked up from there. But my podcast that I co-host with a very good friend of mine, Colby, called the Switch It Up podcast, is a Nintendo-focused podcast. We just sort of shoot the breeze about games that we like, particularly Nintendo, because that is our shared interest, but sometimes other ones. Our most recent episode, we brought on a friend of ours from another podcast to talk about Sonic Frontiers. Since he and I are pretty big Sonic fans as well. But yeah, reviews of games that we've played, which are kind of infamous for being like 3-hour marathon episodes. So if you do check out our podcast, make sure you're like on a road trip or something. It'll make it easier. But yeah, we'll also cover some news from time to time. Like if there's a big Nintendo Direct, like the one that just came out recently that we're getting an episode out on soon. Or the Pokemon Presents that is theorized to be happening in about a week at the time of this recording. So fingers crossed for that one. But yeah, he and I started this podcast around 3-ish years ago as a way to stay connected when he moved away from my hometown. Jesus, that was like before the world went to shit. So, am I allowed to swear? Am I allowed to swear on this podcast?
Swear as much as you want.
Okay, fantastic. Because if you said no, I'm not sure if I'd be able to stop myself. But this is great.
Me neither.
But yeah, it's our sort of side passion project. We love producing it. Yeah, it's just more of a shoot the breeze, casual. Come on in and listen like you're in the room talking with us sort of deal. So yeah, that's us.
I like it. I see a lot of parallels between you two and us. If you're a first time listener to the Super Pod Saga, this is the podcast where Aaron and I bring a different topic to the podcast to talk about every week, and we discuss every single thing about it. Once we are done, there is nothing left to say about that topic. Where can people find us on the internet, Aaron?
I'll just make it super easy for everybody. Just go to superpodsaga.com. You'll find everything there. All of our social medias, all of our episodes, our Patreon and PayPal if you want to give us a little bit of a couple of clams, help support the show. But otherwise, it's Superpod Saga, yeah.
I feel like every week we just make it simpler because we're tired of listing all of the things. We're just like, just go to Superpod Saga, please.
Honestly, superpodsaga.com, short, sweet, to the point.
And speaking of things that are short, sweet, and to the point, the topic for today is going to be Nintendo handhelds. Have you guys played Nintendo handhelds before?
I think so. Once or twice.
Yeah.
Good.
Maybe a few.
Good.
Just a smattering.
No, I'm an Atari Lynx kind of guy, Tommy.
Only Atari Lynx. For this particular topic, since this is my topic, I don't want to do the Nintendo Switch today because I think it's too much of a hybrid with being a home console, and I'm kind of here for more the nostalgia than current consoles, if that makes sense. So I hope that's okay with everyone. If you had Switch notes, just cross them off or burn them or whatever.
Yeah, it's all right. Believe me, we talk about enough on the Switch on my show.
That's
so
true.
I'm down.
Yes, if you want to listen to the Switch, go check out the Switch It Up podcast. They'll have you covered.
Thank you. That was perfectly timed. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So yeah,
I'm down. I am down for the nostalgia train. Absolutely. I'm very excited to talk about it.
Let's start it off with the granddaddy. Okay, I guess Nintendo technically made the Game & Watch things. Have any of you ever touched a Game & Watch?
No, sir.
No, me either.
Actually, very funnily enough, my roommate got one of the like remastered Game and Watches.
Ooh.
So it has the original games on it, but it has like updated for like today. It's more of like a nostalgia sort of purchase because it has but it has like modern day like you can like plug it into the wall and charge it like
That's cool.
technology. But you get to play like the old Game and Watch series games on sort of like the original sort of layout and buttons and size. I believe I had one myself once. I think I won it at like a school raffle or something.
Nice.
And I would like play it in the car, and I would be very, because I was accustomed to the quality of life of games of my generation. I was like, what is this? Like, I am so bad at this game. This is just
Isn't
maybe
it funny?
not for me.
Like our games we grew up with was like, or at least for me, like Game Boy Advance, DS, and then there's something that's older than us, but I'm sure there are people today. They're like, how did you play Game Boy Advance games?
Yeah, of course. I definitely understand that one. But yeah, so I've briefly had some history with a Game and Watch, but probably a collective hour in my 21 years of life.
Yeah. I know very little about Game and Watch. I don't have anything really even to say about it. Anyone else?
Lucky for you, I jotted down a shit ton of notes just to be safe. So here's a good one for you, Tom. Game and Watch was released in 1980. They discontinued it in 91. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Guess how many models? Really? Guess how many models of this motherfucker there were?
7.
No, Tyler.
10?
No, 62.
62.
What?
62 models. Each had a basically two sides, Game A and Game B. B being like a faster, harder, difficult version of of Game A, but yeah.
Oh.
And it had a digital alarm clock, which is pretty sweet for the time.
I don't understand.
That's interesting.
I see it here on Wikipedia, but it still doesn't make sense to me.
That's exactly where I got it from.
I assume like back in the day, like the definition of a model of a game system
because didn't they have
different than today.
Did it have cartridges, or was it? I thought it was like you buy this thing and it has one game on it.
Yeah, I think it's like you have to buy the console with the game that you want, basically.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Yeah, okay. So that makes sense as to why there were so many models, because every time you come out with a new game, you have to come out with a new model.
Yep.
It's weird that this is like considered part of the Nintendo handheld lineage, because like I remember going to the toy aisle and there being a ton of these like LCD type games, like the football, the baseball and stuff. And no one ever remembers those or who made those, but like Nintendo Game & Watch, it's like, oh yeah, that was a thing. That was a big thing.
Oh my God. Or all those little solitaire, like blackjack poker ones my mom and grandma and all them used to have.
My mom played Yahtzee. She loved the little handheld Yahtzee.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Parents. Did you have any other fun facts about the Game and Watch?
Nope, that was it.
That was it.
Game and Watch.
I think that's about right. Okay, on to the important ones. The Game Boy. Did you guys ever have a Game Boy?
No, sir, not for me.
My brother did, and I think he only ever had one game for it, and it was just Bomberman versus Wario or Wario versus Bomberman or some shit. And I still have the theme song stuck in my head. It's just yeah, that's the only game we had for it.
My grandma in Minnesota had a Game Boy, and she had a collection of Game Boys. She had the Tetris, the Super Mario Land 2, Top Gun, which Aaron played for a YouTube video. Top Gun on the Game Boy.
Awful.
A combat flight game.
Incredible.
Oh man, I really liked so you mentioned the music. That was one thing I was gonna say is like the Game Boy has such a distinctive sound palette. I don't know if that's an actual phrase or not, but I'm gonna make it one.
Yeah, that's close. That's good.
Like DS, Game Boy Advance, etc. Those like had more traditional video game music, but the Game Boy had such a limited palette that just hearing those sound effects it always takes me back.
And honestly, the Pokemon games, the music for those is still very, very iconic, even though they're all beepy and boopy, like the Pokemon setting one, bam, 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 but you can probably just hear it in your head as like the little Game Boy 8-bit beeps and boops and shit.
The battle theme.
Like there was no depth to the music, but it was still very detailed. If that makes any sense at all.
Have you?
I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you two played the Tetris on the Switch online Game Boy?
Yes.
I have not.
Whenever you get the chance, you need to go and make a Tetris. Just have the line drop down and hear that disgusting, awful sound effect. It sounds like a robot vomiting.
I see.
I'm not kidding. Like, it's not a satisfying sound at all. It's like.
Well, thank you for recommending such an experience to me. I'll have to check it out.
Oh boy, please go check out Top Gun on the Game Boy, please.
Don't check out Top Gun.
If you love no gameplay at all other than hearing like and the occasional, you'll love it. That's all the sound there is to the game. Just that fucking dull roar and then the boop.
I give them props for trying to make a jet combat game with such limited graphics. Because it actually is like a 3D flight thing.
Certainly bold. You can't knock them for trying, I guess.
It's like if they tried to turn a flight sim into a visual novel or the other way around. Because like it's just one fucking frame at a time, dude. Like if you try to turn around, it's literally just skip. I don't know how to explain it without.
God.
Yeah.
It's so good. I can't believe that I played that as a child. And I was like, I'm
it's
flying a jet.
It's not good. Stop it.
It's good in a bad way. I love that. I can't imagine. I mean, obviously you can't do that because graphics are way beyond. But they were like, yeah, we're releasing a handheld game system. Everything's going to be green. Everything's going to be this gross shade of green.
Sir, what if we made it all black and white? No, green.
No, green.
Please.
I'm sure there's a reasoning behind it, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think it's got something to do with like light level. Like it was like the light, and like maybe it made the games easier to see like in different light levels.
That makes sense.
Oh yeah.
But I felt like I read like something or like was doom scrolling on YouTube and came across like a history of Nintendo handhelds YouTube video, and I just sort of mindlessly watched it. But I mean, this, even though I've never played the Game Boy, this console was the start of Pokemon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
this
absolutely.
is where it all began.
Which again is crazy, just because of the limited graphics, and yet they still had like a full giant adventure with 151 Pokemon and all these moves and stuff. It's insane how like the file size is like 8 megabytes or something.
And they still managed to make distinct cries for each Pokemon that actually sound different. Like you'll hear Jinx's cry once and you'll never forget it. It'll haunt you in your dreams.
It is kind of, I don't know, like it's insane being someone who was born so far after that to like look back and to appreciate what they did, because like I've never like physically played any version of Red and Blue before. My first game was like Gen 4, so like Diamond and Pearl. And the farthest one I've gone back to play is like Ruby Sapphire.
Oh man, my wrinkles are showing on my face.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
but
you're fine. That's why I'm happy you're here, though. I love different perspectives because Aaron and I are the same age, pretty much exactly.
okay.
By the way, that motherfucker lasted so long. So the Game Boy released in 1989, discontinued in 2003.
After the Game Boy Advance was already out.
Yep.
Bro, yeah, the Game Boy, man, it's a legendary little box. Like it really is.
And
little brick.
It's tough to understand just how heavy it was too. I was just gonna say that. 4 AA batteries in that sucker.
Oh wait, really? I never knew that.
Bro.
Oh yeah, 4 AA batteries.
That's a lot of power. That's crazy.
And they had only 2 revisions for it, technically. The Game Boy Light, which just had the backlight, and then the Game Boy Pocket, which was just
thinner.
way easier. Because unless you had fucking cargo pants or anything other than regular pants, there was no way you could fit the Game Boy. The original Game Boy in your pocket. That fucker was fat.
I don't know if it's true because I read it on the internet, but I read that they made it so big and beefy because they anticipated Japanese businessmen putting it in their top pocket, and so if they missed, they wanted it to be able to survive that fall.
Oh.
That could be
don't even
completely false. Just so everyone knows, I'm not claiming it's
Yeah,
true.
that would be an interesting. Like, it sounds bizarre enough to be true, though. You know what I mean? Like, it
Especially
has that.
because Nintendo
It
thinks
has that
about the
feel
most
to it.
random things.
That's true.
That's way too macabre to be true. I don't even know how to respond to that.
Oh man, so that's my memories of Game Boy is just going up to my grandma's in out of state and playing it. And like when the Switch Online released the Game Boy games, I started playing those ones, which it had 2 of them that she happened to have. I cannot tell you the nostalgia rush I had just from seeing that green screen and hearing those sounds again. It's just so distinctive and unique, and man,
Yeah.
I love it, man.
What would you all say is either like your favorite game on the Game Boy or one that like you could see yourself playing again and again if there are any?
I think that Tetris is the perfect video game.
Mhm.
But when I played Super Mario Land 2, I was like, oh yeah, this is just legitimately a very good Mario game with distinct enemies and areas that you'll never see in any other Mario game. So I think I'm going to have to pick that, Super Mario Land 2.
What about you, Tyler?
Yeah, Mr.
I mean,
Young Man.
With my limited experience, that being 0 experience, I'd probably have to go with Pokemon, even though they're glitchy, buggy ass messes. I know you said we weren't talking about the Switch, but I guess
you can.
in a way, Scarlet and Violet are going back to their roots by also being a glitchy and buggy mess, just like the first games in the series.
They're like, everyone wants us to make it like Red and Blue, so they must want the glitches.
Yeah,
Let's make it a piece of shit.
I was gonna say, I'm waiting for the official Missing No Pokemon to come out eventually.
Oh man, you didn't.
Eventually.
But yeah, no, it was just for starting this whole crazy obsession of mine, because like I'm in a without Red and Blue, like I probably wouldn't have friends in college because I am in like my college's Pokemon Pokemon club, and that's where I met like a lot of my good friends that I've kept with me for like the years and years I've been in college for now. So, and Pokemon, I'd say even in like the glitchier ones, the replayability is like if I'm like forced to play, I wouldn't want to play Pokemon Red and Blue over and over again. But you can always go in with like different teams. Even with that original at 151, there are so many different combinations of teams that you can use if you're like constantly going to keep restarting it and getting to the end with it. So, I also feel like I don't know many more Game Boy games that exist besides like the ones that you talked about, Tetris, what was it, Mario Land, right?
Yeah, Super Mario Land 2.
Yeah, that has a subtitle, right? It was like something golden coins.
6 golden coins.
6 golden coins, yeah. So like I really don't know a lot of other Game Boy games besides that limited one. So for the purposes of me giving an answer, I'll say Pokemon Red and Blue.
It's a good pick. Did you pick one, Aaron?
Yeah, I sure did. Here's one that one you probably don't know, but you can add it to your list, brother. It's Mole Mania.
Mole Mania.
Oh man, that one's. Yeah, Mole Mania, dude. I bought it on the 3DS Virtual Console because I was like, dude, there's a mole on the cover.
You're the one person.
Screenshots. Yeah, it's fun. It's just like a little puzzle game. Basically, you're a mole, so you go through holes, and you have to basically find a way to the end of each like screen or whatever. You'll have to like drop balls or drop enemies into holes and other stuff. And I don't know how else to explain it, but hopefully it comes to Switch because it's
hopefully
really
it comes
fun.
to Switch.
Hopefully.
Mole
Thanks,
Mania. Okay, written down. Got it.
Not to get too far out there, but just hearing you talk about the Pokemon Club in college, that's such a huge generational difference because for me and Aaron growing up in school,
People hated me because I liked Pokemon.
Yeah, Aaron was open about. I had to keep it hidden that I even liked Pokemon, or else I wouldn't have any friends.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like I caught the tail end of that. Early 2000s was me, and yeah, I'm not going to say that I know exactly your suffering in this regard, but I don't think I had to wait long comparatively because like now nerd stuff and gaming and all this stuff that was previously made fun of is like very much embraced now.
Oh, yeah,
and
it's normal.
Like you are weird if you make fun of it now.
Yes.
So, I there was a little bit of that in like the beginning grades of like high school, I'd say for me. I still felt that, but nowadays I'm like, yeah, you want to talk about fucking Pokemon and Dungeons and Dragons and shit, and
Yeah.
Hell
people and people are just like kind of chill with it now. So,
Mm-hmm. Totally different
but yeah,
culture.
it is. I guess I didn't really realize that you guys might not have had that same like you at least at the same time. Like when you were kids, you had to keep it under wraps a bit more. So.
Weird life. After the Game Boy was, of course, the Game Boy Color. No more green screen. We got multiple colors.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very short-lived.
Yeah, surprisingly short-lived.
Discontinued in 2003. Holy fuck!
And it was only their main top handheld for 3 whole years. It went Game Boy, then Game Boy Color for 3 years, and then the Game Boy Advance. Which
I like that. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say that's crazy to me because I had a Game Boy Color and it never felt that short to me.
Yeah, and it was definitely a lot more comfortable than the original Game Boy was because they had that hump or like whatever the fuck on the back that it was like the perfect area for your little fingies to sit and way easier to hold than the fucking the can of spam that is the fucking Game Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you touched a Game Boy Color, Tyler?
No, I have not touched a Game Boy Color. I know my friends would bring them to school sometimes. They would sneak the contraband Game Boy Colors into school, and I'd see them play a little bit. But even then, that was pretty sparse. Before a few handhelds later that we'll talk about. But the only game I know that's remotely like prominent on the Game Boy Color is Pokemon Crystal. Like that. That's like the only thing. That's the only thing I know about the Game Boy Color is that Crystal came out on it.
Yes, that one.
That's a good one though.
Yeah, they had the slightly animating sprites for like 2 frames, which was mind blowing, absolutely mind blowing.
There's a lot of really fun shit on the Game Boy Color that I didn't actually actively play one in yesteryears. I just going back now, I've found a lot of really fun stuff for it. Like there's Wario Land that I still love. The Mario Sport, like Mario Tennis and Mario Golf, those are really fun. Legend of the River King 2, it's just a fucking fishing RPG.
That's Game Freak, isn't it?
No, it's whoever makes Harvest Moon. It's like Tatsume
sorry,
or something like that.
I'm sorry, I was wrong.
Sorry, Natsume.
Dang it, I hate.
Sorry, everybody.
Game that I had a Game Boy Color. I had the special Pokemon Yellow one with it had a little Pikachu and a little Jigglypuff on it. And
cool.
It's worth a lot of money now, but someone stole it from me in school back in the day. So,
was it Matt R?
I'm assuming it was Matt R. That's the only person that touched it and could have taken it.
Whoa.
Just like how he gave away my fucking Resident
Tyler's
Evil.
like drama.
Whoa. Is this guy a villain, a recurring villain?
He was one of our friends.
Oh.
But yes, he is a recurring villain. We've said it before, but we'll say it again just so because you're here. I brought my Pokemon Yellow and the Game Boy, and he played it over recess. And he walked back over to me at the end of the recess, and he was crying. I'm like, oh no, your heart drops to your stomach. I'm like, what's wrong? And he's like, I saved over your game. I thought there was multiple saves. And so I started crying too. And then the teacher comes over and she's like, why are you both crying? And we were trying to explain it through tears. And
oh god,
man, that was rough.
This is the son of a bitch that double-deckered me, dude. He not only did he borrow my Final Fantasy VII, that was the wrong choice of words, not double-decker.
Yeah,
that sounds sexual.
Whoa. What is going on?
No, he borrowed my Final Fantasy VII and scratched up like the second disc. He scratched up one of the discs like to hell. Like it looked like he just fucking dragged it along a fucking sidewalk or some shit. And then he borrowed my fucking copy of Resident Evil on the original PlayStation, and he just gave it to somebody. Just fucking gave it to somebody like it was his game. Like no, give me my game back. Get it from him. Get it back. Buy it if you have to. I don't give a shit.
And I'm sure you're wondering, why were you friends
bitch.
with this man or this boy? Because I guess we weren't men yet. We grew up in a really small town. There was like 50 people in our class.
No, same here. No, I was about to say I completely understand that because the people that are next to you are the people that you got. So yeah. I do not. Yep. I don't blame you at all for that. But Still quite the unfortunate situation.
So now you're caught up.
Yes, I've caught up on the SuperPod lore. Thank you.
The Matt R arc of the Super Pod manga.
Yeah.
Thank you, Game Boy Color section, for allowing this enlightening story to reach my ears today.
I had I had a Kirby Tilt and Tumble for Game Boy Color. Have either of you ever heard of Kirby Tilt and Tumble?
No.
It is
I've
coming
heard
to
of
the
it.
Switch online. I saw the logo and I was the only person in the world who screamed. So
Wait.
the Kirby Tilt and Tumble, the cartridge has these things called gyroscopes in them, and you
Okay.
control Kirby by tilting the Game Boy forwards and backwards, and he rolls around the stages. And you can even do like a little flip to make him jump. You just go hop and he jumps. And so that's coming to
Interesting.
Switch.
That's cool.
But yeah, that's like the precursor to the Nintendo Motion stuff.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that started all the way back there.
Yeah, Game Boy Color, they had motion controlled games. Or I guess just Kirby Tilt and Tumble, but
I mean, hey, it's still the start. It's still a point of origin.
another big thing for the Game Boy Color. Do you remember all the attachments for it, Aaron?
Dude. Mm-hmm.
I have heard about these. Yeah.
They're so stupid. They're so fucking stupid. Oh my god. So there was that one. There was this one that was supposed to like make the screen bigger. It was
The
literally just a
magnifying
fucking...
square.
Yeah, dude. It was just it was just a screen you put over the screen, and it's supposed to fucking zoom it out or whatever. And then there's the dumb little fucking screen light thing that you just pop into the side.
It just looks like a little book reader light.
And it didn't even do it. If anything, it'd just be like, there's no good way to put it so that it wouldn't be in your fucking immediate field of vision. It would either be like right in the middle of the screen, or you could like put it over the screen, but it wouldn't illuminate the bottom half or something.
And it just drains your
dumb.
battery.
It's the most fucking flat Earth bullshit ever, dude.
I had a friend who had the rechargeable, because this used batteries as well. We're still not there yet, technology wise. And he had a thing where you took the batteries out and you jammed this thing in there with handles and you plugged it into the top. And so it was a rechargeable battery, but also handles, and it took up the one plug-in slot. It was wild. You could attach so much stuff to the Game Boy Color for no reason.
By the way, before we move on, Tommy, can you do the Kirby Tilt and Tumble hop thing again, please? How'd the jump go?
You just you tilt it down and then you go hop, and Kirby goes hop,
Nice.
and he jumps. And there are ramps over spikes, so you have to like lead him up so he catches up speed and you go hop, and he goes over the spikes.
Perfect. Love it.
Sound file gotten. Be prepared to hear that throughout this entire episode now.
Excellent.
You've been memed.
I'm kind of sad. Those are the only games I remember having for Game Boy Color, but I'm sure I had to have. Maybe I didn't have more because the Game Boy Advance came out so soon.
There's like a billion I rediscovered on the 3DS Virtual Console, like Pokemon Puzzle Challenge. It's just Tetris Attack, but Pokemon. Oh my god, dude, it's so addictive. And like, you can unlock different Pokemon that the Pokemon don't do anything. They're just there in the background. They like make faces if you clear lines or don't. And yeah, that shit is just so fun.
Man, Game Boy Color. Any last words for Game Boy Color before we move on?
No, sir.
Okay, next.
Not for me, except that describing something as the most flat Earth shit you've ever heard is pretty funny.
Next up in the lineage, we're still sticking with the Game Boy family because next up is the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
And we're talking about we'll start with the first one, the side buttons, the wide Game Boy.
Oh yeah.
The horizontal Boy Advance.
The horizontal Boy Advance. Game Boy Advance is a good name though for a system.
It's very catchy. Just the right amount of syllables, you know?
Yes. Exactly. Did you have a Game Boy Advance, Mr. Tyler?
No. We're almost to where I can actually contribute to this episode.
No, you're fine.
But this, I guess it's kind of on the cusp, right? Because the next console we'll talk about allowed you to play Game Boy Advance cartridges in it. So that is how I played Pokemon Sapphire for the first time.
Oh.
But I have never owned any form of a Game Boy Advance, sadly, no.
The big thing for the Game Boy Advance, at least for me, was those R and L buttons, baby. We got triggers now.
pretty sweet form factor. Like it held in your hands pretty well.
Still
If
no
they
backlight
would've-
though.
Yeah, but by God, they had that stupid fucking flashlight accessory thing that still didn't do a fucking
They
thing.
still had it. They still didn't learn their lesson. Like the kids
They had
keep
a-
buying it and it doesn't work. I don't know.
Like we're making our money back, but like we haven't gotten one to work, sir. I don't know how this is happening.
They had a lot of accessories for that motherfucker.
The Game Boy Advance had like a crazy library of games, just massively huge.
Yeah.
I think we're definitely going to need to do. I want it to be one of our theme months teasing in the future is licensed Game Boy Advance games, because you could search for any licensed property in Game Boy Advance and there was a game for it.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
I looked up like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. There's a King Kong. It's endless. Think of a thing.
Yeah.
And there's a Game Boy Advance game for it.
Yeah, this from what from what I understand, this era is the start of like a bunch of companies trying to get on the video game train.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
just a lot of franchises and licenses went through the Nintendo handhelds from this point forward. But yeah, I was a little baby when Game Boy Advance came out. I was born in the year it came out, so.
Oh, disgusting.
Hey, you're telling me, don't worry, I know. But
this was also the era where Nintendo just went wild with revisions, because before the Game Boys and the Game Boy Colors were essentially the same, but Nintendo was like, clamshell, make it a clamshell for the Game Boy Advance SP, which is the one I had. I had a red one.
yeah.
Did you have the regular Advance or the SP, Aaron?
I had both actually.
Ooh.
I had the original like Indigo Game Boy Advance, and then we went on. Where the fuck did we go for our trip in 6th grade? It was just like to Des Moines, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just to Des Moines.
We went to
we went to
What
that
was it?
military place. Do you remember that? Where we stayed at a military barracks?
Yeah, that was fucking wild.
Yo, what?
That was
Yeah,
our field
dude.
trip. Was to a military base, and we slept.
Bro,
in
we
the...
went to like the glass museum. You guys are going to the fucking military bases?
we didn't we like just run laps around the place just for fun. We're like, we're in the military now, so we got to do running.
I think so. All I remember is Living History Farms and buying like 7
Yeah.
fucking things of rock candy.
Oh man, one time, I'm sorry to completely derail this. One
That's
time
fine.
we went to Oak Grove, and we were like young, and I found a rock that was in a fun shape, and so I put it in my pocket. And then before we left, the park person came onto the bus, and she was like, "If anyone has taken anything from this park, that's a federal offense. So I'm gonna need anyone to let me know if they took anything right now." And I was like, and so I stood up and brought my rock over to her and handed it to her.
Criminal Tommy. Holy shit.
Did she actually confiscate the rock?
Yeah, she took it back
What
and put
the
it back with
heck?
nature.
What the hell?
Federal
That's-
fucking offense.
That's ridiculous. let the boy keep his cool shaped rock. Come on.
Oh my god, dude. What our town is so wild. Like fucking
know.
remember Calliope Village? It was like right
I
next
can't
door
believe
to
that's a
Casey's.
thing.
Casey's gas station.
It's like the leftovers of the 1800s part of the town, just next to a Casey's.
Hey, this episode brought to you by Iowa.
Oh,
Iowa, baby.
we should
No, I'm kidding.
shoot. Do you want to do an ad? Because we're halfway through the. No, let's do it after the Game Boy Advance. Hold off.
Okay.
Ignore me, everyone.
What the fuck was I gonna say? Okay, so I had the original Indigo Game Boy Advance my dad bought for me for my birthday, and then I lost it. And then the day I got back from that fucking stupid field trip, my mom had bought me a new Game Boy Advance to replace the one that got lost or stolen. And then I got a SP after that, and that was pretty sweet.
SP has the backlit screen. We've made it, and rechargeable battery. We made it to the present day.
And this was where we also started to get a lot of wireless bullshit, like because like Pokemon Leaf Green and Fire Red came with a little wireless adapter, so you could finally trade without that bullshit cord that just kept popping out and fucking breaking the ports and shit.
Yeah. It had the card reader. You could buy cards and swipe them through.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Straight out of fucking Digimon, dude. That shit was so sweet.
Man. You had the barcode scanning game too. This isn't Game Boy Advance, but the
Scanners, right? Is that what
Yeah,
you're talking
yeah,
about? Scanners?
yeah.
I have one of those in my basement.
Tell Tyler about it. Tell the boy.
Tyler, my boy, sit down on my lap and I'll tell you a tale.
I'm listening. I have no idea what you guys are talking about now.
Sit on my lap, boy. Let me tell you a tale.
Let me tell you about scanners.
Scanners were these sweet little devices that, like, you could scan any fucking barcode and it would generate this dumb little, like, fucking 2-bit monster thing. And you connect it to other scanners, just like fucking press them together, and you could battle other dumb fucking 2-bit monsters. And
this isn't related to Game Boy Advance. This is its own separate product.
Oh, okay,
it was cool,
got
though.
it.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. Sorry, son. Yeah, but it was still cool.
It's okay, Dad. I take an interest in your interest.
What a good son.
Let's go out and play catch.
Well, this is a new podcast, inter-podcast lore we're creating here. Let's keep going.
Ooh. Oh my god, Tommy, do you remember the Game Boy Advance video cartridge things?
Oh my god, yeah, you could watch cartoons on your Game Boy.
They were so fucking compressed and sounded
what, like
so
60p?
bad.
I'm sure 120p.
Yeah,
10
so
frames per
bad.
second.
But it was cool though, because you could just be like, I'm gonna ride in the car, but I'm bored. But wait, I have my Game Boy. I'll watch the same episode of Pokemon.
I'll watch one
for like fucking
single
4 years.
SpongeBob episode, not both. Only the 1 10-minute episode.
Yep. Or fucking Drake and Josh, or whatever the hell you had at that point.
The Kingdom Hearts for Game Boy Advance. This just popped into my head. It had a full motion cutscene. They had, it was the only game to have like an actual cutscene and not sprites and stuff.
Oh.
So if you get a chance to look that up, look at what the first handheld cutscene looked like.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
That's
what's...
cool.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you all off. I'll put myself in jail.
No, go for it. I was just saying that's cool.
You're free.
What would you say is your favorite Game Boy Advance game?
Oh, WarioWare, Mega Micro Games.
Ooh.
Oh, I played so much WarioWare. It's so fun. I can't wait to play it on the Switch online. Is that one out now, or is that one coming?
Yeah, it's out now. Yeah.
Okay, I gotta give Nintendo my money so I can play that.
Okay, let's
As
play it online
always.
sometime.
So wild, so creative, so unique. There's nothing like WarioWare. Nothing.
Do you have one, Tyler?
So I guess the only one I've ever actually played is Sapphire.
Hell yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was
favorite
always
generation.
interested in the Sonic games from
yeah,
this
Sonic
era.
Advance.
Like Sonic Advance, I heard was really good.
Yeah.
But and I've seen like gameplay of it, and it looks really fun, and it has like, I think I got a connection to those games a little bit because that the advanced games spawned the sprites that people used in so many like fan animations on like
interesting.
early YouTube. So
Early
like
YouTube. I
like
miss
Super
early
Mario
YouTube.
Bros. Z, that YouTube series where it was like a Mario Sonic crossover with the crazy ass sprite combat animations. It used the animations from, it used the sprites from Sonic Advance, and that's how I learned about the game for the first time. So
That's cool.
my YouTube history is sort of interconnecting with a game system I've never played before. But
That's fun.
circling back real quick, I've never heard anyone like talk about playing WarioWare before, so I'm kind of glad that you shed some light on it, because I'm
It's
like
like a
I
fever
see
dream.
the WarioWare come out, and I'm like, okay, let's see what anyone has to say, and no one has anything to say. I'm like, interesting. Okay.
It's definitely,
Boy.
I could definitely
Yep.
see it being a time and place thing, because like Game Boy Advance, it had the Sonics, it had the Marios, and then there's Wario, where it's like we have mini games that are 2 seconds long, 3 seconds long, and it's just a bunch of them, and they get faster and faster, and it's like distilled fun.
Yeah.
We at Super Pod Saga are the biggest advocates for WarioWare, because I played the absolute fuck out of they had the GameCube version of the Game Boy Advance game, and I
The
played the
GameCube
absolute
version of the
piss
Game Boy
out of
Advance
that, and it was so fucking fun, dude.
Oh man, they had Game Boy Advance to GameCube connectivity. Do you have any memory of that, Tyler?
Say it one more time. What to what connectivity? Sorry.
Game Boy Advance to GameCube, you could plug it in.
Oh,
You could just-
yeah, no, sorry. No, I don't have. I did not own a GameCube, so
Oh.
I had no idea.
There was a surprising amount of like, if you for like one of the random, I think it was Medal of Honor Rising Sun, it would display the map on the Game Boy Advance for you if you had it plugged in. while you were playing.
Whoa, that's sick.
Or
Dude,
there was a Legend of Zelda one too with Tingle where he was on the screen or something. I don't remember specifically. What
and
were you
then
saying?
I was gonna say not only that, like if that's already blowing your pants off, you could also play Game Boy Advance games on the GameCube
With the
with
Game Boy
fucking
Advance adapter.
yes,
Oh,
sirree.
wasn't that you could do that with like Four Swords, right?
I think
Zelda
so.
Zelda Four Swords, I think that was a thing. I only know this through like a YouTube video I watched like once 3 years ago, and the
Yeah,
memories are just now resurfacing. But I think I have
think
heard
so.
about that, and that's just so cool. Like
it was
it's so weird like how Nintendo approached those like consoles and that interconnectivity. I thought was really cool.
again, that's almost like a precursor to the Wii U as well.
Yeah, a little. Oh yeah, I guess you're right. You can see a lot of through lines, I suppose, in the designs of these, and they sort of get reused later down the line. So I guess that's a
Also,
cool little like Nintendo hallmark almost.
yeah, the Game Boy adapter for the GameCube, you unplugged the screws on the bottom of the GameCube and slap this thing that's as wide as the GameCube because it's the new thing that the GameCube stands on, and you screw it back in on the bottom.
Oh,
It was way more complex than it needed to be.
And
interesting.
then there was a disc you would put into your GameCube, so it would boot up into the fucking Game Boy Advance menu thing.
Yep.
It's wild.
The Game Boy Advance. There was another Game Boy Advance revision that you had, Aaron.
Did I?
The Game Boy Micro.
Oh, duh. Okay, yeah, the Game Boy Micro. My bad. I forgot all about that. Yeah. And
Tyler, look up the Game Boy Micro.
No, I don't know what it is.
Look it up.
Oh
you,
shit!
You
Okay.
have to see it,
I'm going.
and then you have to
Boy
describe it.
Micro. Oh, what the fuck? Oh my god! What the hell? That looks
was-
like the most unwieldy thing ever.
Dude, it hurt. It
It's-
hurt.
It's like the size of the game cartridge.
Yeah, the cartridge is like 3/4 of that thing.
Dude, I'm 6'2", so I have big hands, and my hands would like wrap all the way around that piece of shit.
I don't know why
mean-
Nintendo made it.
I mean, it's cool because like you could literally bring it. You could easily smuggle that.
You could
motherfucker
swallow
into
it.
for country. Yeah, swallow it. You could easily poop that fucker out. But like, there were cool little you could change the face plates on it too. Like you just get like a regular
Why?
fucking gray one, but I had like a blue flame one that I thought was really cool for like
Ooh.
13-year-old me, and there's all sorts of other cool ones.
I that was like the last revision too. I don't know why Nintendo did that, but it's fine. You don't still have it, right? Or do you still? I'm assuming it's very
No,
easy to be
I lost it,
Yeah.
or either I lost it or it got stolen. I'm going with stolen because yeah.
It was Matt R.
strikes
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
He came back
Damn
after
you.
moving away.
I'm pretty sure that one was rechargeable, the Game Boy Micro, because the charger's like the charger port is right on the top. I'm pretty
Well,
sure.
the battery would be bigger than the system, so it'd have to be.
Yeah. Damn you,
Uh,
Matt R, for stealing that.
All right. Any last words on the Game Boy Advance?
Not for me, I don't think.
No, chef.
No shit. I still don't know what you keep saying that.
Have you not watched The Bear, Tommy?
I've seen bears. Is this a specific bear?
On Hulu, just look up The Bear.
Before we get to our next handheld, which I'm sure none of you will guess what it is, let's do an ad break. We'll be right back.
Are you tired of being out of shape but don't want to pay for expensive equipment or a gym membership? We've got the perfect plan for you. It's easy, fat be gone. Working out made much simpler and much cheaper. For just $25 a month, you'll be assigned with one of our workout coaches who will work with you for every single step of the program. Each day you'll meet up with your coach at a different location where your coach will go over that day's workout plan. You'll work every single muscle in your body to routines like moving a couch into a house, moving a bed into a house, moving a table from downstairs to upstairs, carrying boxes into an
Wait
apartment.
a minute.
It may just sound like we're a moving company
Wait a
extorting
minute.
money out of desperate, out of shape nerds for cheap labor, but I promise it's not a scam. Tell him, Tommy, it's not a scam. Tell
Something's
him.
fishy here. I was on board, but I'm starting to. No,
Tyler,
it's
help me.
real. This can't be real.
what
It sounds
is
too good to be
what-
true.
Tyler, it's not a scam. Tell them.
I don't know what they're talking about, guys. I don't know what's happening.
Good enough. If you still think we're a scam, try speaking with a few of our satisfied customers. Jim over here He lost 32 pounds moving boxes of old newspapers up and down the stairs of a New York apartment building. Alicia, over here on my other side, she lost 21 pounds by moving a grand piano. Easy Fat Be Gone has changed lives for the better, and if you still think it's a scam, we'll up the ante with you. We'll give you 2 free months of Easy Fat Be Gone, absolutely free.
I'm gonna have to give this a try.
Absolutely free. Call us now and get in shape so you can stop being such a weak little jelly bean snowball. That's Easy Fat Be Gone.
Thanks, Easy Fat Be Gone.
Thank you for sponsoring this episode.
Okay, before we go back, Tyler, we just read fake ads because no one wants to actually give us money.
I was so fucking confused. I was like, okay, this is a little strange, but I mean, they're not, I'll just let them do it. It's probably their thing. And then you said Tyler help. I was like, what?
Good. That's
exactly what we wanted. You were perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad I filled my role. Now that I know the context, that's pretty
great.
Hilarious.
That was good. Okay, everyone.
Okay.
Back to serious. This is serious podcast business.
Yes.
And we're back.
And the next handheld we're talking about, it's the Nintendo DS.
That's right. The D stands for Delta.
And the S stands for
You got it.
System.
Delta system. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. It doesn't actually stand. I don't actually know what DS stands for. Is that?
It's just dual screen.
Dual screen. Sure. Yep.
Oh.
There's 2 screens in the DS.
That makes sense.
I still wasn't at the point of like watching E3 events or like I was still at, oh, this thing exists now. I didn't like experience the lead up to the DS. It just kind of existed to me. But like, so I don't know. Do you remember, Aaron? Like, did you ever have any thoughts about the dual screen and the touch screen and all that stuff?
First off, I remember when they announced it and showed off what it looked like. Back then, my little baby brain, I was like, dude, that's so cool. It folds up and it's got 2 screens. And then maybe like 5 years later, I was like, this thing's butt fucking ugly, dude.
Yeah,
like,
the first DS is ugly.
It is very just bulky and ugly, and
the way it folds is unsatisfying.
Yeah, very.
It makes me unhappy.
And surprisingly, it only lasted about 4 or 5 years until they discontinued it. Thank God.
Are you talking about like the DS as a whole,
the original DS, sorry.
Okay, I was gonna say because the DS Lite or the DSi, those were sexy little guys.
Yeah, they were very handsome little bastards.
Which gorgeous DS did you have, Tyler?
So I can finally contribute a bit more to this episode an hour in. I had the original DS.
Oh, you had the boat?
Yep, I had the boat. I made it even bulkier by putting this like sticky cover on it.
What?
Like one of the customizable covers. It was like a Lego Star Wars Yoda cover. And my little baby brain was like, this is the height of coolness right here.
have the little wrist strap hanging from your wrist as you're walking around.
I would show it off to anyone who would look. I'm like, you see this fucking shit? This is sick. Yeah, I had the original DS with that cover on it, and to me, this is my first handheld console was the DS. So, I didn't realize the dual screens or touchscreen were a big thing. I was like, oh, this is just how things are.
Yeah.
I'm 5 years old. I don't have a brain function to question this. So I had that, and then I had the DSi for the remainder of my time with the DS when that came out. And you're right, that shit was sexy as hell. That shit was awesome. I have very fond memories of both of those, but
I hope with the little cameras and the
yeah. Oh my god,
microphone.
Dude, the camera function, dude. I was taking pictures of everything I saw with that DSi. And, I would look back, and then you have the album function where they play all your pictures back in chronological order, and they play sad music behind it. And I'm like, why am I crying? I'm 7 years old. I shouldn't be. So Yeah, I absolutely love the DS. This system is my baby. Like this is where
I
a lot of my early childhood memories lie is with this system.
this
Oh,
was you go, Aaron. You go.
I was gonna say, did you lads ever play a lot with Picto Chat? Because that was my shit.
I was gonna bring that up.
Oh, yo,
I did not.
PictoChat.
Yeah, dude.
I didn't. I'm not. You guys got to tell me about it because I didn't get it.
Oh my god, Tyler, you can go ahead if you want to.
Um, it's been a while. I'm not sure my friends and I like used it to its full potential. Like we would just like
that's where I
send
went wrong.
funny drawings
Friends.
to each other and like like fucking swear words and shit because we were like, ooh, if we write the swear words in the DS Picto Chat, no one will know. But no, it was Picto Chat was interesting. I mostly remember Picto Chat from the Smash Bros. Stage now, to be honest.
Same.
Most of my memories from it have sort of like faded over time. So
Mhm.
you probably have a more detailed description to give than I do.
Oh man, Picto Chat. It was basically just like you could link, or you could basically start like a little chat room with your best friends, and yeah, you could just draw messages and just send them and just go fucking stupid with them. Just send like we would just draw little dumb things like fucking penises and then draw fucking dumb fucking animals and lizards. Yeah, we would write swear words and shit. Like this is like this is stupid fucking dumb bullshit. Or like yeah, we would, that was
Jesus Christ.
you
Yeah.
know,
I
I'm
played
sure
games
was,
on my DS.
You guys are intense. Holy shit! I got nothing on you guys. My friend group was absolutely nothing compared to that.
Oh man. I don't want this. The stylus sliding into the thing and pulling it out of the DS. That is like one of the most satisfying things in any console.
Yeah, when it fits though, you know, so you'll lose stylus a lot, and then you'll like borrow one from your friend, and it doesn't fit as well, and it's like, now it's just gonna fall out again, and I'll lose it again.
and
At least that was my experience.
Like you said, Tyler, you could play Game Boy Advance games in this thing too. Did you ever see the Guitar Hero attachment?
ugh.
No, I haven't.
Oh my god.
It was a little 4-button thing with a strap that you would slide into the Game Boy Advance slot so that you could play Guitar Hero on your Nintendo DS.
It made
I
it
had
even
it.
fatter.
Hang on, I'm looking this up. Oh, what the hell?
I had that puppy.
Oh God, it's like brass knuckles.
It had
thing?
All Star by Smash Mouth on it, so you know it's good.
Oh,
and
my God.
The stylus was like a little guitar pick.
Yeah, you would strum with the stylus.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool, but also like it just looks
It's
so
insane.
funny now.
It is madness. This was Nintendo's like, let's just fuck around and see what happens era. Like
True.
they
yeah.
put Zelda on there and they're like, you control him with the only the touchscreen.
What? That was Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Oh
No-
man, yeah.
no
I had
buttons.
I had Spirit Tracks. I never finished it because I had no idea what to do.
And it had puzzles that had you blow into the microphone,
Yep.
or you would close it to stamp a map. It's just the most insane things.
Dude, and then WarioWare Touched, they did a lot with like the not just like the microphone, but of course the touch screen and the gyroscope shit, and that was so fun.
I remember playing Brain Age on the bus to sporting events.
Oh, Brain Age.
Yeah, where you
I
hold
remember
it
that.
sideways, baby. Hold that DS to the side.
Yeah.
And we would, like, the weirdest little kids just passing around trying to get the best times on doing math problems.
It was a different time, indeed. For me, it
We
was
didn't have cell
the one
phones.
game that we could all play together. And you know, when we didn't have it, that was Mario Kart.
Yes! Everyone could play.
Yeah, because you didn't need not only one person needed the game, and the rest of everyone on the bus field trip could hop in and play balloon
That's
battle
true.
together
What a
as
golden
all the shy
era.
guys.
Oh, and then they did the DS port of Super Mario 64, which was cool
Yeah,
but
so
weird.
it was very weird. It was so cool, but the controls were very hard.
Yeah.
But I remember playing that religiously. I remember
Hmm.
playing that in fucking like that's one of my earliest gaming memories was playing like the multiplayer of that with some random kids I met in the YMCA daycare
Holy
when my
shit.
when my parents would go like do stuff, and I would be left behind.
How about? Did you guys know that there were 5 Call of Duty games that came out on DS?
Yes, it is hilarious.
Like
That's
the actual
gross.
Call of Duty 4, like Black Ops, Modern Warfare 3, they were all on the DS. I had a cousin who had one, and its controls was like it had a little touch ball, like the golden tee ball, and you would
Yeah.
roll that to move around the area.
Oh, that's so scuffed.
Disgusting.
There's so many fucking sweet games on that system.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, there is.
when
Professor Layton.
yeah, Professor.
Oh,
God
Professor
damn it.
Layton, bro. Yeah.
Dude.
The next 30
Professor-
minutes is going to be us. Someone says a game, everyone goes, "Yeah, yeah."
Yes, I remember.
Here's one you guys probably won't do that with though. Dragon Quest, yeah.
Boo.
Hey man.
I never played Dragon Quest.
Me either.
Sorry.
Oh man. Yeah, it was 4, 5, and 6. And, oh, they were so good. No, 9 was also on the DS. That was also
9, yeah.
so good.
I'm looking at 9 right now on the list.
They also brought Chrono Trigger to the DS.
I had
and
Chrono
that's pretty-
Trigger.
That's still the best version of the game to this date.
I got to the final boss and could not beat it.
Same.
I
But
never played it.
That's really good. That was my first real JRPG experience, was Chrono Trigger on the DS.
Oh, okay.
Dude, and then fucking Pokemon, dude.
Oh my god. Like
I
the
sp-
golden age of Pokemon was the DS age.
Definitely.
I disagree, but I understand.
Like Diamond and Pearl was my first. Then we had Heart Gold and Soul Silver, arguably some of the best games in the series, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
You had Black and White, which is
Yeah, okay, yeah.
okay,
You
was
turned
my
me
favorite
around. You
generation.
turned me around. I loved
Yeah,
Black and White in college. I played those in college, Tyler.
Really? Holy shit!
Yes.
Yeah,
I played
no,
those when I was a fucking nomad moving all over Iowa and shit.
I played those when I was still in high school. Yeah, but Black and White 2 came out on the DS too, and then like this was also the golden era of Pokemon spin-offs.
Yeah.
Because we had like
Pokemon
like
Conquest,
yeah, like Conquest, Pokemon Ranger, and my favorite game of all time
Whoa.
is on the system.
Whoa.
Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky.
Ooh.
That shit is, in my opinion, the greatest game ever released, and the DS gave it to us.
I love it. I love it. Why are you so strongly about this?
It was so obviously the Mystery Dungeon series, for those who don't know, is a spin-off of the Pokemon series. It's sort of like a dungeon, like a randomized dungeon crawler. Where you pretty much in every game you are a human that is turned into a Pokemon through some mysterious means, and you're transported to a world inhabited only by Pokemon.
The dream.
And yeah, and they're usually like more story based than the mainline series. And I don't know what like Spike Chunsoft was fucking on when they made the story for this game, but it is some of the most moving shit that even as an adult today I've ever played through in a game.
I love it.
And it's just like that's the first game that made me openly cry while playing it. And I was like super young. I was in my kitchen playing it, and I was like started to bawl, and my mom, who has no idea about anything about video games, came in and she's like, "What are you crying about?" I'm trying to explain to her like the intricacies of the plot
lore.
that have brought me to tears, and she was like, "Okay, buddy, maybe you just need a nap." That was it had like all the quality of life changes and everything. It had all of the enhanced features. It was like that game is like one of my I think is the magnum opus of the DS is Explorers of Sky.
I think my most played handheld game was also on the DS. It was Pokemon White 2. I maxed out, the playtime maxes out at 999 hours.
Well, holy shit,
but
dude.
So what happened was it had the global trade system, the GTS I think it was called, or something like that.
Oh my god, yes.
It was the best trading system in any Pokemon game.
Yeah.
With the different ways that you could trade and the communication features and stuff. So I would just come home from class every single day and just try and complete my living Pokemon decks by trading with people from all over the world. So it was just like a daily thing for my
Wow.
entire college career.
All right, yeah.
Just doing all these trades.
That's
and
sick.
it was, man, I miss that experience.
That's insane.
Oh,
I was like a
yeah.
Pokemon salesman.
Yeah, just devoting your life to a Pokédex completion. I feel it. Oh my God. I'm just looking at a list of games to bring up the memories. The Mario and Luigi like story series started here too.
False. Mario and Luigi
did-
Superstar Saga came out on Game Boy Advance.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I forgot about that.
But-
I never played the first one. I played Bowser's Inside Story.
Yeah,
so I
the
guess that's
others
where it
all
started
came
for
out on
me.
DS.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Bowser's
gotcha.
Inside Story was so good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A game that was not good, but that I played a lot was Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood. That
You
was
played
a
that?
BioWare, that was a BioWare Sonic
Yeah.
RPG. It was. Yeah, I played it.
Oh my gosh. That was always on my list. I saw it in the Nintendo Power and I was like, I could play this. I don't care about Sonic or BioWare, but this sounds cool. And I never did.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, it was. It was. I thought it was good at the time, but I thought I was just again bad, so I couldn't complete it. Something
Mhm.
else. Animal Crossing was here.
Yes, that was my
Ooh,
first
yeah.
Animal Crossing experience. I didn't get it. I dropped it after a couple hours.
Yeah, I got New Leaf, I believe. Is that was DS, right? Or is that 3DS? Am I getting it backwards?
I don't
Oh,
remember.
New Leaf was 3DS. I think
Oh, okay.
the DS
then,
was like Wild World, maybe.
yeah.
Oh, here's the one that nobody ever talks about from the DS.
Whoa.
Trauma Center. It's
Trauma-
like if Ace Attorney was a doctor.
I do not know that one.
Oh, you don't
unfortunately.
you use the touchscreen to do surgeries.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, interesting.
It's
And
nuts, and
It's got
an
one of
Atlas
those
game, so you know it's
dramatic stories, doesn't it? Like
Oh.
way overly dramatic stories.
I see.
Trauma
Oh,
Center.
Fuck. Mario Party DS, bro.
Oh man, I don't know, Tyler. Cut his mic.
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
No, I'm
shit.
kidding.
You're just
No.
joshing. Okay.
Yeah, it was messing around.
Okay.
We're pals
You
having
know,
fun.
Yeah, the legendary Starfy was on here.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
Starfy. The world ends
Peach.
with you.
Peach
The
got
World
her own
Ends with
game.
You. I just played The World Ends with You on Switch. Such a good game.
That is such a good game, dude. That's so fun.
Bro,
Super
Fossil
Princess Peach.
Fighters. We were just talking about that. I can't believe I forgot about
Fossil
that.
Fighters, dude.
Bro, the DS's peak library.
Yes,
like, there's
I
so
agree.
much good shit
I
on
agree.
here.
What was that other one that was like Fossil Fighters, but it came out? It was like something oids, right? Spectrobes.
Oh,
sure.
that's not ringing a bell for me.
Nope,
Oh, never mind. Forget it.
already
Sorry.
forgotten.
It's all right, dude.
Did you guys play? Okay, did you play Drawn to Life or
Yes.
Scribblenauts?
Yes, I played Scribblenauts.
Yo, both
That
of
was
those
fun.
games were sick. Those are such creative games. I
Yes.
love those so much.
And it allowed you to be creative, which not a lot of games like. You could just draw
Yeah.
anything and it'd be in there. I was like, black hole, there it is. Angel,
Yeah,
there it is.
Immovable wall. I would like make adventure maps on Scribblenauts to like have my friends try and play through. It was a fun time.
Machine gun, you got it.
True.
Machine gun, dude. Hell yeah. The Glock.
Giant enemy spider.
Wrestler.
Oh, Sonic Rush that's the Sonic game that was on here. Was Sonic Rush. That was Blaze, the cat's first appearance. That was very good. That was a very good game as well.
Good old DS.
What did you guys think of I assume you guys played the new Super Mario Bros. Game that came out on here?
Yeah, I did, but I
A
don't
little
know.
bit.
Yeah,
Wasn't
a
a
little
fan?
bit for me too. Didn't hook me.
Oh, okay.
I was
think that's
never
everything.
I was never much of a side-scrolling Mario person back then.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Fair enough.
Um,
I that was kind of all I had for a while was that game, so
Any last words for DS?
No, sir.
I think I've gone through literally every game that I've played on the
Literally
DS,
every
so
DS.
I think I'm done.
And then Nintendo was like, what if we had two screens, but one of them was in 3 dimensions, and they brought us the Nintendo 3DS.
Oh yeah, glasses free 3D.
Yeah, that should not. That just sounds impossible. This is where I started paying attention to like games news and stuff, and so
Yeah.
like hearing 3D without glasses, I was like, that's impossible. That's literally science fiction. You can't do that, and they did. And it sucks because it's one of those things that like you can't read about, you can't watch videos about. You have to have it in your hands to see how cool it is.
The 3DS is still my favorite handheld because it does so much that others don't. I love it so much, dude. The fucking all the cool fucking themes and the
Yeah.
it's got it's got cameras, it's got gyro, it's got the 3D, it's got NFC, it's got fucking everything, dude. And the Street Pass was so fucking cool. It was such a neat little feature, dude.
The little slidey stick. You forgot the little slidey
Yeah.
stick.
There you go.
I don't know about you, but like I hated the 3D feature on the 3DS.
Oh.
Like, it hurt my eyes.
I had
and
it
my
cranked
head
up to
so
the
bad.
max all the time. And as the 3DS went on, like they stopped really emphasizing it. Like some games didn't even use it, and I was like,
Yeah.
no, I love the 3D effect. I want more of it. Playing Pokemon and seeing that depth of field, I was like, I'm there. I'm with these Pokemon.
It was cool on Kirby Planet Robobot because you could occasionally switch between like the foreground and the background, and when the 3D was on, it was like it was mind blowing. It was like he was actually in the background or some shit.
Yeah, you were in the game with these tiny screens. I actually did not play a lot of games on. I had a 3DS, but this was the DS was like late high school to early college, and then from middle to late college was where I was more on my own, so I didn't have money to buy games.
Mhm.
So I basically only had the Pokemon games on 3DS.
I was pretty late to the 3DS game, sadly, because I bought mine when Pokemon Sun came out, and then that was when it started kind of fucking dying, sadly. But yeah, I still love it. There's a lot of really good games like fucking Etrian Odyssey. I forget fucking everything, but Etrian Odyssey is they had so many fucking Ace Attorneys on there, and just a lot of good RPGs on that bitch.
What about you, Tyler?
For me, the Nintendo 3DS was definitely like a Pokemon
The Pokemon machine
system.
Yeah.
Pretty much a Pokemon machine, yeah. X and Y, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon. All of those was, I was on the Pokemon.
It was a very good
kick.
Pokemon machine.
It was a good Pokemon machine, yeah. I despite what people said, I actually really liked X and Y when it came out, just because I knew more about the internet and about like the actual Pokemon community, so I felt more connected to other people playing Pokemon than I had ever before. So I have fond feelings for that. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were fantastic games. I love those a lot. Sun and Moon I liked more than Ultra Sun and Moon, but still very good games in my opinion. The only other game that I tried playing the Majora's Mask remake, because they remade Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time for the 3DS. And I tried playing the Majora's Mask one, and I wasn't very good at it, so I didn't get too far with it. But the only other game that I really played for any significant amount of time on the 3DS was Animal Crossing New Leaf.
Dude,
Like,
same.
That shit sucked me in. That was my first Animal Crossing, and I fell in love immediately. It was such a great time.
I love that there was always, well, not always, but there was always something new you can unlock in the town. Whether it's you finally upgraded the store to its like fourth and final form, or you got like the hairdresser, or like the underground, not the bar, karaoke bar thing.
Yeah. My biggest memory of that, at least like a humorous one, is me and my brother both had the game, so we could go to each other's places and give each other shit. But you got special like tokens for if you like walked around. I think it was like a street passing, but it was like the amount of steps that you took with your 3DS. So he and I would just walk around, like orbit our kitchen to like farm these coins to exchange for fortune cookies, which would give you, I believe, the Nintendo themed items. So like pipes and the invincibility star and the Master Sword and the Triforce items,
the Metroid helmet
and the different clothing options. So yeah, my brother and I would just walk around our living room and our kitchen, just in circles, grinding these coins to get those items, and that's a fond memory for me.
Hell
Did
yeah.
did you guys ever mess around with the free AR games that came with it? Where
I did not
it
personally know.
oh man, I
Once.
that was like the hit on the Christmas when I got it. Like it uses the cameras in the back and it has like digital things come out of your walls and it looks like they're actually breaking out of your walls and you have to move around your house to shoot them and stuff. That was so I was really surprised that no one else really ever did anything with that kind of stuff. I think one of the Pokemon games had like a weird thing with it, but that was cool technology. That thing was loaded with just random cool technology.
After like, after like 3 revisions.
Man,
Holy,
so
holy
many
shit,
revisions.
Because there was, what was it? So there was the 2DS, which was like the doorstop design
God,
with no
yeah.
3D, and only had one fucking mono speaker. What kind of bullshit is that?
Unbreakable though. That was like a Game Boy levels of sturdy.
That's true. It was built pretty sturdily.
Oh, and then when they made like the new 3DS,
The new 3DS, just called the new
was-
3DS.
Yeah, yeah.
Disgusting.
yeah, what was it? It was faster processing, had the ZLZR shoulder buttons, the C
little
stick,
nub, the little nub
the
stick.
better 3D, little nub, auto brightness, all that shit, and then they ported Xenoblade Chronicles to the 3DS, and it's like, how the fuck did they do this? Like, it's good. But how
It's
the
a system
fuck did they
just
do
to
it?
play Xenoblade, basically.
Basically, you could take it anywhere, and it was good actually.
Man, and then they made the new Nintendo 2DS, which was the folding
Yeah.
2DS, for if you didn't want the doorstop. Oh my gosh.
It was actually that one. I wish I had bought one when they were still cheap, but they're pretty expensive now because it was. I mean, there's no 3D, but they're a lot slimmer, and the
Yeah.
micro SD is a lot easier to get to, so you don't have to take off the back cover
Yeah.
anymore. There's just an actual fucking slot.
I had the regular 3DS, and then I got the 3DS XL for my dad, and that screen just looked massive back then. It was
Yeah.
like, geez, how can you even? I can't even see everything on this screen. It's so big.
The new 3DS XL, it's the one I've had since whenever I got Pokemon Sun. That's the one I'll always have. It's just big old meaty boy, but it's great.
There was a Metal Gear Solid 3 on 3DS as well.
Mhm.
I played the demo for that. Now, I was like I said, I played mostly Pokemon games. So whenever I would play anything else, I was always surprised at kind of the graphical power that the 3DS actually had. Because
Mhm.
Pokemon aren't really showcases for graphics. But then I played Metal Gear Solid 3, and I was like, oh my, this is actually like Metal Gear Solid 3. I guess I was just surprised by that.
They also ported, so there's another PS2 game that they ported to the 3DS, being Tales of Abyss, and I was really surprised by that too. Like, that's pretty fucking, and Dragon Quest 8, that was a PS2 game, and they somehow fit on the fucking
Mhm.
3DS. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't. I feel bad because we like ranted and raved about the DS and the 3DS. I was like, it was more of an for me.
I mean, agreed. It kind of was, to be honest.
Man, oh, I love the 3DS. It's so fucking, and those themes. I wish they would bring themes to Switch or something. Man, it's
It's
gonna be
wild
like
that
sweet.
they haven't.
I know, and you could do so much with the UI on the 3DS. You could do so much that you can't on the Switch, but I understand because like the Switch, they want it to just be fucking snappy and easy to use. I
Yeah.
understand, I guess.
I guess just looking at Nintendo's handhelds as a whole, excuse me, it's super impressive that they have just had this stranglehold over the handheld market all this time because they definitely had competitors before the Game Boy even, and then Sony had the PSP and the PlayStation Vita, and no one comes even close to Nintendo.
Yeah,
Or-
absolutely not, man. It's pretty wild. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, or poor Atari with the Lynx, or the Sega with the fucking Nomad and Game Gear and all that shit.
Props to them.
Yeah, I mean, I had a few people who would live and die by their PSPs, but like, at least in my small town, it was just DSs.
Oh, yeah,
just
absolutely.
everywhere.
Mhm.
Like I never saw I never saw a non-Nintendo handheld until I got to like, I don't know, like early high school, and even then, like I saw it like once. Like one of my friends had a PSP. And
I had
everyone
a
else was just all
PSP.
Nintendo.
You're like, that's not Nintendo. Your eyes like widen and you like froze in place. Like,
What
the
is that?
Fuck?
I was like, what?
What's
What
this
is
alien
this?
technology?
What is this machine doing here? This isn't your territory. No, I don't know. I was on that Nintendo kid kick early on in life, and I never really got off. So
Yep.
I did not experience the joys of portable PlayStation games or anything like that.
Yeah. Anyone have any last words for the 3DS?
No, sir.
I will say, Pokemon X and Y had the best like multiplayer like online system, and they immediately ruined it with the next game, and they never got better than that. So
same with the
I gotta
trading
give-
system in Black and White. They keep doing that to us.
yeah, and even like it was like the player search system. It was like the PSS and X and Y, where you could like have like it was like a standard friends list. Like you could, interact with passerbys if you were like out and about, and you could, designate people as friends. You could battle and trade with, and then they go to Sun and Moon, and it's like here's the festival plaza.
Yeah.
You have to go inside like
Gross.
buildings. You have to go inside unmarked buildings to find the right feature you want, and it's just shit. It's like, what? Why did you do that?
Yep.
And even
Classic.
now, it's like the freaking the code system they've been doing for the past two generations. It's like, please just bring it back. Like, you're
I got
making
bad
it so
news, friend.
complicated.
They're not
Listen,
gonna.
I know, but I can still bitch about it when I get the
Yeah,
chance.
Oh man, this is something I always think about is like your first Pokemon, your first Nintendo handhelds were the DS ones. Aaron and mine were like the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance era stuff. Aaron's kids, I can't even imagine like how they're going to grow up with Pokemon having their first ones being whatever. I mean, you've got an older one and then a super tiny one, but the super tiny one is going to like what? How is his opinions of Pokemon going to even be? Because he's already got all these advanced graphics, advanced everything.
I'll teach them. They'll be like, hey, look.
You got to
before they
start
have
with
color,
Game Boy.
have this.
He has
Hold
to
this
play
brick.
through them. Oh man.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm not sure how that would go. Actually, that's an interesting thing to think about.
So yeah, that's we're not talking about the Switch because that's current day, and I'm here for nostalgia. That's the Nintendo handhelds. If you guys listeners think of a game or something we missed, too bad. Tyler, tell people where they can find you on social media and stuff in the podcast.
Sure. The designated shilling section. Thank you.
Yep.
We are on, I'm pretty sure all podcasting platforms: Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts. Just as switch it up, I believe with an exclamation point. There are a lot of. We realized after the fact of making the Switch It Up name that it's not the most original name after all, because there are like 5 other podcasts that had the same name. But I'm pretty sure we are the first one that shows up now.
Nice.
So, if you see the bright red and blue logo, you'll know that's us. And yeah, we're most active on our Twitter at Switch Up Pod. My co-host runs that, and it's kind of a shitpost account at this point. But I love it. He has a lot of fun with that. So yeah, at Switch Up Pod on Twitter. And we also recently made a Ko-Fi account as well. So donations are never expected, but always appreciated. You know the drill. I'm sure these guys have a very similar mindset.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that's everything. We have an Instagram, but that needs some definite revisions before I start shilling it out again. So for now, I think that's everything that you'll need to hear from us. So, but yeah, that's Switch It Up. Thank you, boys, for having me so much. It's been an absolute honor.
It really
was
has.
a very fun
Yeah.
episode. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I learned a lot of new information today, some of which I was expecting, and many of which I was not. But I think that just makes it better. So yeah, I appreciate it, boys.
Thank you for being here. Like I said, I love hearing different perspectives, and you being the youngest man on Earth, it's great to hear all of your perspectives on these games.
I suppose I should enjoy that title while it lasts.
Aaron, where can people find us on the internet again, in case they forgot from earlier?
Yeah, just go to Super Pod Saga. Just go to Super Pod Saga and you'll find everything about us there, our episodes, social medias, our Patreon if you want to help out the show. If not, yeah, just check out our website, our cool blog where I bitched about Yu-Gi-Oh yesterday, and then I came into it steaming angry, and got to the end.
You should never write while angry.
Yeah, it's kind of a stupid post, but
I love it.
SuperPodSaga.
Okay, what's going to be our topic next week, Aaron? What are we talking about?
I think we should talk about launch titles.
Oh, that's good. Dang, you have such good ideas.
Yours are awesome too.
Stop
what are
it.
you talking
No, yours are better.
about? No.
Okay, look forward to that, listeners. Check in next week when we talk about launch titles, and also check out Tyler's podcast. Listen to them at separate times, not at the same time, or it's going to be confusing. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you. Bye.